US deploys military aircraft to Greenland amid mounting tensions. The United States is set to deploy military aircraft to Greenland as diplomatic and military tensions increase over President Donald Trump's push to acquire the self-governing Danish territory. The aircraft will arrive at Pituffik Space Base in northwestern Greenland. The move is linked to planned defense activities. It comes amid heightened scrutiny of U.S. intentions in the Arctic. The North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, said on Monday local time that its aircraft would soon arrive at the base, formerly known as Thule Air Force Base. The deployment is part of long-planned activities designed to support routine operations to defend North America. Troops from several European countries continued to arrive in Greenland on Thursday in a show of support for Denmark as talks among representatives of Denmark, Greenland, and the US highlighted fundamental disagreement over the future of the Arctic island. The disagreement came into starker focus Thursday, with the White House describing plans for more talks with officials from Denmark and Greenland as technical talks on the acquisition agreement for the US to acquire Greenland. That was a far cry from the way Danish Foreign Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen described it as a working group that would discuss ways to work through differences between the nations. The group, in our view, should focus on how to address the American security concerns, while at the same time respecting the red lines of the Kingdom of Denmark, he said Wednesday after the meeting. Before the talks began Wednesday, Denmark announced it would increase its military presence in Greenland. Several European partners, including France, Germany, the UK, Norway, Sweden, and the Netherlands, started sending symbolic numbers of troops or promised to do so in the following days. The troop movements were intended to portray unity among Europeans and send a signal to President Donald Trump that an American takeover of Greenland is not necessary as NATO together can safeguard the security of the Arctic region amid rising Russian and Chinese interest. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Thursday that it had no impact on the U.S. president's decision-making or goal of acquiring Greenland. The president has made his priority quite clear, that he wants the United States to acquire Greenland. He thinks it's in our best national security to do that, she said. Rasmussen, flanked by his Greenlandic counterpart Vivian Motzfeldt, said Wednesday that a fundamental disagreement over Greenland remained after they met at the White House with Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Rasmussen said it remains clear that the president has this wish of conquering over Greenland, but dialogue with the U.S. would continue at a high level over the following weeks. Meanwhile, French President Emmanuel Macron announced Wednesday that the first French military elements are already en route and others will follow, as French authorities said about 15 soldiers from the Mountain Infantry Unit were already in Nuuk for a military exercise. Germany will deploy a reconnaissance team of 13 personnel to Greenland on Thursday, the Defense Ministry said. On Thursday, Danish Defense Minister Troels Lund Poulsen said the intention was to establish a more permanent military presence with a larger Danish contribution. According to Danish broadcaster DR, he said soldiers from several NATO countries will be in Greenland on a rotation system.